Hello and welcome to this tutorial for Blackboard Learn. Today we're going to take a specific look at how you can create a column within a Blackboard course. Here I am simply in the Grade Center, so I will go up to the Create Column button, click on it once, and you'll be in the Create Column screen. Now the very first thing it's going to ask for is some sort of column name. So I'll go ahead and put in assignment 1 in there, and underneath that you'll also have a Grade Center name. So if you had a really long extended column name, you might want to put an abbreviated name in Grade Center name just so it displays a little differently in the Grade Center. So you do not have to fill that in, but for example, if I just put ASN1, that would then display as the column header in the Grade Center. Alright, we also have an area for a description. If you want to put any more information about what that assignment is, you have the ability to do so. I'm going to go ahead and put the word description in there. Now underneath that text box editor we have some decisions to make. The very first thing is the primary display. How do you want the students to see the score that you put inside the Grade Center? So there's a few ways that you can input scores within the Grade Center. First there's score, which means basically a point value. We also have what's called the CSU-Pueblo letter schema. Basically this is a schema that just matches the catalog we have at the university, so it will input the letter grade equivalent of whatever the percentage they're at in your course. Now this can be changed, and you can check that out in a later tutorial of how you adjust your schema. You also can just put a text value if you wanted to just input some sort of text, if you wanted to input your percentage, or just an incomplete complete kind of check. Now just as a side note, if we use the complete incomplete, you still have to put some sort of character or number from the keys on the keyboard so that you'll enter in that check mark on the Grade Center. We'll go through that one in just a moment. But for now, we're going to keep it on score. Now your secondary display is going to allow you to show another value in there to the right of your primary display in parentheses. Now just take note that this secondary display is for you as the instructor. The students will never see the secondary display. Next we have our category. So if you're going to be using this to categorize columns, or you want to create weighted column schemes, then you would be able to use your category. Now right now it just has some default categories in there, but we'll take a look at categories in a later tutorial and how you can add categories to that menu. For now you could be using one of the defaults. Also, you will mandatorily have to put points possible for this assignment. I'm going to make it easy and just say 100 points. If you're grading the assignment based off a Blackboard rubric, you could add that rubric. I don't have a rubric in this course at this moment, but I then could go and create a new rubric and add it to this particular assignment. Next we have the due dates. You can select to put in a due date if you wish, otherwise it will just be blank in regard to the due date field on the Grade Center for the students. Finally we have your options. So do you want this to be included in the major calculations within the Grade Center, meaning there's going to be other Grade Center columns in here? Do you want to add this to all those other columns into the total column? If you take this one out and put no, then you will be able to still input grades for an assignment, but it won't count towards the total grade. You also have the ability to show the column to students or not, so you can turn it on or off from their viewpoint. Also, you have the ability to show the average or the median for this particular score. So by default, it's going to be yes, yes, no. So once you click submit, it will add your column to the Grade Center. Now where did it add it? Well, it will always add it to the end of your Grade Center. So there it is here. If I go ahead and click into that grade column here, you're going to notice something that happens up in this grade information bar. You're going to get all the information that is about that column, or at least a nice little summary of the information about that particular cell or column. So we know that this particular column could have up to 100 points. It's going to display as a score. So if a student received an 86, I'll hit enter, and I'll enter in the grade for that column. You'll notice that since we kept it in calculations, it's also going to feed it into our total column. So let's go ahead and take another look at how you can use the incomplete. I'm going to create another column. This time I'm going to do SA1. I'm going to leave that Grade Center name alone. I'm going to go down to primary display and click incomplete complete. Now for this particular assignment, I'm just going to say the point value is 0. I just want to see that they completed it or not. And then I'm going to go down and I am going to not include this into the Gradecenter calculations. I just want this to be in a complete or incomplete assignment. So once I hit submit, we're going to enter in another column at the end of our Gradecenter called SA1. So to be able to get the check mark in there, you would just have to go to the particular cell that you wanted to do and put a 1 in. That will work, and your check mark will show. You could actually put any kind of value in there, and it will show in that particular column. And since we took it out of the calculations, it's never going to flow into that total column. So one more time, we'll go ahead into that column center, and let's do a test. Test 1. This time we want it to display as a letter grade. So I will say 100 points available, and I will submit this particular column. And now we have a test column in the Gradecenter. Now I can know that it has 100 points by taking a look at that grade information bar, and I'll enter in the points for this particular test. So let's say this person got a 92. Once I hit enter, it's actually going to calculate what the grade is based off our schema. So a 92 is equivalent to an A-. So this can be changed. You definitely want to check out the schemas video if you're interested in how you get that particular value to show automatically by putting in that score. Now there's always been a question of, well, I want to show them their letter grade and their score they got on the test. Well, it's a pretty easy fix. All you need to do is create another column, call it test, keep it on your score or percentage or whatever value you'd like to show them. Let's just do percentage for now. Duplicate all of your information, except on the second version of it that you want to show them, you do not want to include that in the Gradecenter's calculations. And once you hit submit, you'll have another test in there. So there's test 1, and I forgot to actually put the 1 on there, but you get the point. I can click on in here and I can say 92, hit enter, and it's going to add that into there. So you have a 92%, you have your A, and out of these two columns it's only picking up this one because this is the only one that's going into those percentages. And so now you can see the total points earned in this class is 178. You have an 86 on your first assignment, you've completed your SA1, you've received an A- on your first test. That concludes this tutorial for creating columns within the Blackboard Gradecenter.